If you're raising chickens, you already know the pain point. You go to the feed store, you grab a 50-pound bag of layer pellets or crumbles, and you watch the price climb higher every single month. Feed is the single biggest expense for any backyard flock or small homestead. And the frustrating thing is that feed bag is full of ingredients like corn, soy, and alfalfa meal, stuff that you could literally be growing yourself right outside the chicken run, for free. But somewhere along the line, the idea that chickens need a perfectly balanced commercial ration from a bag became gospel, and the ancient traditional knowledge of growing living chicken feed, plants that come back year after year without replanting, was quietly set aside. Today, we're bringing it back. I'm going to show you 6 free plants that replace chicken feed and grow forever. These aren't complicated exotic species. These are tough, generous, high-protein, nutrient-dense workhorses that can turn your homestead into a self-sustaining chicken feed factory. Why did they hide this knowledge? Well, a chicken keeper who grows their own feed is a chicken keeper who doesn't spend money at the feed store every week, and that is a very profitable secret for you and a very inconvenient secret for the commercial feed industry. Let's dig into the first plant, and this one is the absolute queen of free chicken feed. It's comfrey. If you only plant one thing for your flock, let it be comfrey. Comfrey is a deep-rooted perennial herb that is virtually indestructible. It grows in sun or partial shade, it laughs at drought once established, and it produces massive, lush, green leaves that you can cut again and again, season after season, for decades from the same plant. Why is comfrey such a perfect chicken feed alternative? Because the nutritional profile is almost unbelievable. Comfrey leaves contain between 20 and 30% protein on a dry matter basis. That's higher than the alfalfa hay you might be buying as a supplement. It's a complete protein source, rich in all the essential amino acids that laying hens need to produce those golden yolked eggs. On top of the protein, comfrey is loaded with calcium and phosphorus, the 2 minerals that make up an eggshell. It's also packed with trace minerals that the deep taproot pulls up from the subsoil, stuff your chickens can't get from a bag of cracked corn. But here's the hidden secret they don't tell you. Comfrey contains allantoin, a cell-proliferating compound that supports gut health and tissue repair. Old-time farmers called it knit bone because it helps heal connective tissue. When your hens eat comfrey regularly, they are getting a medicinal tonic alongside their dinner. The best varieties for chicken feed are Russian comfrey, specifically the Bocking 14 cultivar, which is sterile and won't spread by seed. You propagate it from root cuttings. Plant a row of it along the outside of your chicken run, and within 2 years, you'll have more leafy green chicken feed than you can possibly harvest. The second free plant that will slash your feed bill is one that grows on water. I'm talking about duckweed. If you have a small pond, a rain barrel, an old bathtub, or even just a kiddie pool, you can grow duckweed. This tiny floating aquatic plant is a protein powerhouse. On a dry weight basis, duckweed can be up to 40% protein, making it one of the most protein-dense plants on the planet. It doubles its mass every 2 to 3 days under good conditions. Think about that. You scoop out a handful to feed your chickens, and 3 days later, that handful has replaced itself and then some. Chickens go absolutely crazy for duckweed. It floats on the surface, so you just skim it off with a fine net and toss it into the run. The hens will devour it instantly. The protein in duckweed drives egg production and feather regrowth during molting season. And because duckweed grows on nutrient-rich water, you can feed it by simply letting the chicken manure runoff or your dirty coop cleaning water settle in the duckweed pond. The duckweed cleans the water and turns that waste stream right back into high-quality poultry feed. It's a closed-loop, free chicken feed system straight out of nature's playbook.
Duckweed can survive mild winters by sinking to the bottom and re-emerging in spring, so once your little pond is inoculated, it comes back forever. Even in cold climates, you can scoop some in the fall, keep it in an aquarium or a bucket by a sunny window, and have starter stock ready to go when the weather warms up. It's a zero-cost, zero-effort, perpetual feed source that the commercial feed industry definitely does not want you to know about. Now, let's move to a plant that might require a little protection if you live in a cold climate, but it's so incredibly valuable that it's worth growing in a pot and bringing indoors for the winter. I'm talking about moringa. Moringa oleifera, often called the drumstick tree or the miracle tree, is one of the most nutrient-dense plants on Earth. Its leaves are loaded with protein, iron, calcium, potassium, and a full spectrum of vitamins. For chickens, dried moringa leaf meal can replace a significant portion of the protein concentrate in a commercial ration. The reason moringa is such a hidden gem for chicken feed is that the leaves retain their nutritional value beautifully when dried. You can harvest branches, strip the leaves, dry them in the shade, and crumble them into a high-protein, mineral-rich powder that you mix into your chicken's daily feed. Studies have shown that supplementing laying hens with moringa leaf meal increases egg weight, improves yolk color to a deep, rich orange, and boosts overall bird health. Moringa grows incredibly fast, up to 10 feet in a single season from seed. If you live in a frost-free climate, it becomes a permanent tree and a permanent feed source. If you live where it freezes, you can grow it as an annual, cutting it back and drying all the leaves before frost. Or you can keep it in a large container and overwinter it indoors. One well-grown moringa tree produces a staggering amount of leaf biomass. It's a feed bank on a tree. The fourth free plant that grows forever and feeds your chickens like royalty is the mulberry tree. Mulberry trees are the ultimate perennial chicken fodder. They grow fast, they thrive on neglect, and they produce both protein-rich leaves and energy-dense fruit. The leaves of the white mulberry in particular are used across Asia as the primary feed for silkworms, and their nutritional value for poultry is just as impressive. Mulberry leaves contain around 20% protein and are highly digestible. You can cut branches and toss them whole into the run. The hens will strip every leaf, eat every berry, and then use the bare branches as perches before you compost them. What makes mulberry a genius-level chicken feed strategy is that the tree is a nutrient pump. Its deep roots pull minerals from far below the surface and deposit them in the leaves and fruit. The fruit itself is a soft, sweet, antioxidant-rich berry that chickens gobble up with abandon. In the late spring and early summer, a mature mulberry tree rains fruit down for weeks. Your chickens will clean up every single berry that falls, turning that sugar and fiber into eggs and meat. And the tree asks for nothing. No pruning, no fertilizer, no spraying. Just plant it on the edge of the run or plant several as a living fence, and you have a permanent, multi-generational chicken feed system that will outlive you. The fifth plant is one you might already know as a cover crop or a hay crop, but you've probably never thought of it as a free chicken feed that grows forever. I'm talking about alfalfa. Alfalfa is a deep-rooted perennial legume that fixes its own nitrogen from the air. It can live for 5 to 10 years in a well-managed patch, and it produces cut after cut of high-protein forage all through the growing season. Alfalfa's dry matter protein content ranges from 15 to 25%. It's also incredibly high in digestible fiber, which keeps a chicken's gut moving and healthy. The calcium content is excellent for strong eggshells. You can cut fresh alfalfa and toss it into the run, where the chickens will eat the tender leaves and smaller stems, or you can dry it, crumble it, and store it as a winter feed supplement. A small, dedicated alfalfa bed, even just 100 square feet, will produce armloads of green chop every few weeks from spring to fall.
The hidden secret with alfalfa is that it's a protein factory that feeds itself. Because it's a legume, it partners with nitrogen-fixing bacteria in the soil. You never need to fertilize it. In fact, it fertilizes the surrounding soil. You can plant alfalfa in a spot where you plan to put a garden in 5 years, let it feed your chickens and improve your soil at the same time, and then turn it under for the richest vegetable bed you've ever planted. It's free chicken feed and free soil building, all in one beautiful purple-flowered perennial package. The sixth and final plant is one that brings the energy component to your free chicken feed system. All that high-protein leaf forage is incredible, but hens also need carbohydrates and healthy fats for energy, especially in the winter when they're burning calories to stay warm. That's where sunflowers come in. Now, sunflowers are not a perennial in the traditional sense. They are an annual, but they are the ultimate self-seeding forever and ever plant.
If you plant a patch of open-pollinated heirloom sunflowers once, and you let the heads mature and drop some seed, you will have sunflowers in that patch for the rest of your life. They come back thicker every year. The birds might take their share, but there will always be volunteers. Sunflower seeds are packed with energy and healthy oils. That oil gives a hen's feathers a glossy, waterproof sheen and contributes to the rich, creamy texture of pastured eggs. The seeds are also high in vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that boosts immune function and hatch rates if you're breeding. You can harvest the heads, dry them, and store them whole in a rodent-proof container. Then, through the winter, you hang a dried head in the run as a chicken piñata. The hens will spend hours pecking out every last seed. It's enrichment, entertainment, and high-energy feed all in one. But don't stop at the seeds. Sunflower leaves, especially when the plants are young and tender, are a perfectly good leafy green chicken treat, and the thick stalks, when chopped down at the end of the season, harbor beneficial insects and provide carbon for your deep litter bedding. The whole plant feeds the flock in one way or another, and it costs you nothing but a handful of seed once. So let's stack these 6 free chicken feeds together and see what a self-sustaining system looks like. You've got a row of comfrey along the run for daily green chop. You've got a small duckweed pond turning waste into protein. You've got a moringa tree or 2 providing dried leaf meal for the winter. You've got mulberry trees dropping fruit and leaves for months. You've got an alfalfa patch giving you multiple cuts of high-protein hay. And you've got a sunflower patch that reseeds itself every year for energy-rich seeds and winter entertainment. Between these 6 plants, you can replace a massive percentage of your purchased chicken feed. Will it eliminate the need entirely? That depends on your scale, your climate, and your flock size. But even if it cuts your feed bill by 50 or 60%, that's hundreds of dollars a year back in your pocket. And beyond the money, you are producing the most nutrient-dense, biologically appropriate diet a chicken could possibly eat. Fresh, living, vibrant plants full of enzymes and phytonutrients that a heat-processed pellet can never match. The eggs from a flock fed like this are a revelation. The yolks stand up tall and orange as a sunset. The flavor is rich and complex, and you know with absolute certainty that every single egg came from a happy, healthy bird eating a diet that nature designed. The industrial feed companies don't want you to know this because they profit from your dependence. But here on Herd to Harvest, we believe that the old ways, the ways of working with nature rather than buying our way out of every problem, are the true path to abundance. These 6 plants are not a secret anymore. They are your invitation to a more self-reliant, more sustainable, and more affordable way of keeping chickens. If this gave you some ideas for your own flock, hit that thumbs up so other homesteaders can find this knowledge. And if you're not subscribed yet, join us here on Herd to Harvest for more practical, back-to-basics wisdom for your land and your animals. Now go out there, get some comfrey root cuttings, and start planting your forever chicken feed. I'll see you in the next one.